on an announcement made earlier today, you may have heard about this, that I'm going to leave the show in 2009. Okay. All right. No, let me explain. Let me explain how these things work. About 6 months ago, I sat down here with the folks at NBC, and they said, we want to re-up. And I said, okay, what do you want to do? Because I don't have a manager and agent. I like the people I work with. They're nice folks. And they said, and this is a high-paying job. Oh, it's a great-paying job. So they said, listen, we would like to do 5 more years. I said, great. I'd love to do 5 more years. And that was 6 months ago. And then time went by. There's all talk about Conan O'Brien. Will he go to ABC? Will he go to one of these other networks? And they came to me and they said, we don't want to lose Conan O'Brien. And I said, oh, okay, what does that mean? And I said, we think Conan would be a good replacement, as I do. Conan is a gentleman, funny, the hottest late-night guy out there, excellent. And I said, you know something? I don't want to see Conan go anywhere else. And I'm proud to say this show has been #1. We will keep it #1. And then in 2009, I'll say, Conan, take it over. It's yours. Because, you know, when I took this show over, boy, there was a lot of animosity between me and Dave and who's going to get it. And quite frankly, a lot of what I thought, well, good friendships were permanently damaged. And I don't want to see anybody ever have to go through that again. Because this, you know, this show is like a dynasty. You hold it, and then you hand it off to the next person. And I don't want to see all the fighting and all, and who's better, and nasty things back and forth in the press. So right now, here it is. Conan, it's yours. See you in 5 years, buddy. Okay.
From NBC Studios in New York, it's Late Night with Conan O'Brien, the final episode.
You know, of course, we're headed out to L.A. to take over The Tonight Show, which is very exciting, a huge thrill for me. I'd like to say something about Mr. Jay Leno. Jay Leno is, from day one, has called me constantly and offered his support. Every night at the end of The Tonight Show, Jay Leno says, stay tuned for Conan O'Brien. He has done that since 1993. I owe that man a great deal, and so my thanks to Jay Leno for all he's done for me.
What they've really accomplished in this move is, you know, a peaceful transition of power, you know, which is rare in television.
Good luck next week, my friend.
Jay, thank you for everything.
All the best.
Conan O'Brien.
So last night, Jay gave his State of the Network speech.
Let's start in 2004. 2004, I'm sitting in my office, an NBC executive comes in and says to me, listen, Conan O'Brien has gotten offers from other networks, and we don't want him to go, so we're going to give him The Tonight Show. And I said, well, you know, I've been #1 for 12 years. They said, we know that, but we don't think you can sustain that. I said, okay, how about until I fall to #2, then you fire me? No, we've made this decision. I said, that's fine. I said at the time, okay, I'll retire just to avoid what happened the last time.
The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien. That's right, Conan O'Brien makes its debut.
From Universal Studios in Hollywood, it's The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
When NBC said to Jay, you know what, Conan's going to take over your job in 5 years, that's when you say, okay, fine, no hard feelings. You call ABC, you call Fox, you try to get my job, you leave. You don't, yeah, okay, but I'll be in the lobby, you know, if you need me. Don't hang around.
Okay, but I'm leaving before my contract is out, about 6 or 8 months early. So before I could go anywhere else, it would be at least a year or 18 months before I could go and do a show somewhere else. I said to NBC, would you release me from my contract? They said, no, we want to keep you here. I said, well, okay. What are your ideas? They said, well, how about prime time? I said, well, that'll never work. And they said, no, we want to put you on at 10. We have done focus groups. People will love you at 10. Well, I don't know. It didn't seem like a good idea there. But I said, all right. I said, can I keep my staff? There's 175 people that work here. They said, can I keep my staff? I said, yes, you can. Okay, let's try it. We guarantee you 2 years on the air, guaranteed. Now, for the first 4 or 5 months, when you're against original shows like CSI, you'll get killed. But in the spring and the summer, when the reruns come, that's when you'll pick up. Okay, great. I agree to that.
So they said, sure, Conan, you can have The Tonight Show in 2009. 2009, was that what they said he could have it?
Yes, it was.
And so they went to Jay, Big Jaw Leno, and they said, Jay, we're taking your show away from you.
Yes.
And Jay said, yeah, okay, well, that's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that.
Right.
So Jay now decides he wants to go on at 10 p.m. And then he says, you know what, I'm having trouble staying up this late.
Is that how it happened?
That's exactly what had happened.
I see.
He said, it's ruining my home life.
Yeah,
so I can't.
Right.
He said, is there any chance you could put me on a little earlier? So they put him on at 10 p.m. with a fantastic variety show.
And we're now just 4 days away from the debut of the Jay Leno Show.
Just how different is it really going to be from what you did all those years on The Tonight Show?
Well, I mean, I think that'll be different is there'll be a lot more comedy in it. We're losing the desk. You know, when you inherit The Tonight Show, you inherit all the tradition that goes with it, the desk and the setup and the way it's done. We're losing the desk.
It's the Jay Leno Show.
NBC always considered the Jay Leno Show here a bit of an experiment in prime time, but after only 4 months, they've decided to end that experiment.
He goes on at 10 o'clock at night. He bombs there.
The late-night shakeup comes, say executives, after NBC's affiliates began crying foul. Despite Leno's repeated plugs,
Your local news starts right now.
those local newscasts are suffering, down on average 30% in the ratings since Leno became their lead-in.
They then say the affiliates are not happy. The affiliates are one that own the TV station. They're the ones that sort of make the decision. They're not happy with your performance, and Conan is not doing well at 11:30.
And, you know, and there was all kinds of talk about our ratings not being very good. But they were pretty good all summer.
Sure.
And then our lead-in changed.
Right.
And they weren't so good anymore.
It's very hard, I would think, to have a lead-in for a nighttime talk show that is a nighttime talk show.
Yes.
You know, Jay was told 5 years ago that it was his turn to give up the driver's seat, right?
Right.
That is not his bus. That's a 60-year bus that's been driving around the country, the Tonight Show, and if you're lucky enough to get to drive it, when they say, hey, you're done, you give the keys back and you say, thank you, you don't flatten the tires of the guy who comes next.
Jay completely sabotaged him. By going on at 10 o'clock, they gave Jay all the best guests.
Right.
They took away all of Conan O'Brien's excitement and thunder.
Right, and then
They
there's also no
sabotaged him.
lead-in between 10 and 11 because their audience is gone.
Absolutely.
We guarantee you, 2 years on the air, guaranteed. 4 months go by, we don't make it. Okay, so they come and they go, listen, this show isn't working. We want to let you go. Can I get out of my contract? They go, no, you're still a valuable asset to the company. How valuable can I be? You fired me twice. How valuable can I be? I said, what's your idea? They said, well, look, how about you do a half-hour show at 11:30? Now, where I come from, when the boss gives you a job and you don't do it well, I think we did a good job here, but we didn't get the ratings. Okay, so you get humbled. I said, okay, I'm not crazy about doing a half hour, but okay. What do you want to do with Conan? We'll put him on at midnight or 12:05. He keeps the Tonight Show, does all that. He gets the whole hour. I said, okay. You think Conan will go for that? Yes. Yes. Almost guarantee. I said, okay, shake hands, that's it. I don't have a manager, I don't have an agent. That's my handshake deal.
Assuming all sides agree, NBC's plan would be to move Jay Leno back to where he was winning at 11:35. Conan O'Brien would pick up at 12:05, followed by Jimmy Fallon at 1:05.
They'd like to keep them all. The question is, how do you keep these guys all happy?
So now they pull the plug on Jay. They pulled the plug on him, and they said, okay, your show is canceled. You're going back to 11:30, and Conan's going to 12:05 to do the Tonight Show, which, as somebody pointed out, really, at 12:05 is no longer the Tonight Show.
No.
It's tomorrow's show.
It's the tomorrow, really.
It's the next day's show. So now everybody says, What will Conan do? Will Conan stay and do the Tonight Show at 12:05? And then, what's his name? Lonnie Donegan? What's his name?
Yeah. The guy
Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon gets pushed back to, when does he start? He would start then at 1.
Yeah, he would,
and then at 2. The other guy,
Carson
Daly,
yeah,
his show would have started at 2. Yeah. And I called NBC and they said, well, we've never heard of Carson Daly. So there... And Carson Daly, woo, this is kind of, you know, here's a kid who had a show at, when did the show go on, 1:30?
Yeah, well, 1:35.
Having a show at 1:30 is almost exactly like not having a show. The difference between having a show and having one at 1:30, just about like that.
What about?
Hey, what about me?
Yeah.
Hey, what about, I'm Pluto, remember me? I used to be a planet.
You think Conan will go for that? Yes. Yes.
You want me to move the Tonight Show to 12:05? Forget it. I'm not doing it. Go to hell!